is no longer working for you. What's once served you is no longer serving you. Hey y'all, it's Megan May, and this is Transparency, where we keep it real about all of our growing pains and the beautiful moving parts of life that might not be the most glamorous, but shape us into who we are today. So if you're ready for some introspection and evolution, go ahead and lock in by hitting the subscribe button. And if what I says resonates with you, go ahead and drop a comment and smash that like button so I know we see each other. So today we'll be talking about why you should not be scared to start over. And it kind of aligns with my episode that was about, I don't know if I'm going to drop this or that one first. But regardless, it's going to align with the episode that's about following your heart. And I say that because in following your heart, 9 times out of 10, Lord have mercy, baby, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have to change whatever it is that you're doing that no longer aligns with who you are today. So in doing so, you need to realize that life is all about change. That could be changing your friends, changing your career, changing your jobs, changing your schooling, change in whatever environments you most likely frequent. I mean, change in any and everything. Change in the clothes that you wear. Change in what time you go to bed, baby. Change in everything. Change is honestly inevitable. Time is always going to go by, and regardless if you're ready or not, things evolve in time and with time. So you just need to be accustomed to changing with the times. You ever met an old person that used to always just be, well, not used to always, but that would just be stuck in their ways and just, oh, back in my days, this and that and the third, and y'all shouldn't be doing this because back when I was doing this, da 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 da. Like, yes, because that was 60 years ago. You know what I'm saying? People that be stuck in their ways, and those people that's always saying things like, oh, I'm like this because I just always been like this, and they don't seem pretty much open to change. They are always going to be left behind because time makes change inevitable. And with change being inevitable, you need to be open to changing. And what does that mean? You may have to start over at times. And it's not the most comfortable decision because we like to conform to our ways. And if things seem to be working for us, and not even necessarily working for us like it's just the most advantageous thing for us to be doing, but working for us in the sense of, oh, we like it feel good. Sometimes we don't see no reason to change. And I understand that. And if you don't feel like you need to change, then perhaps it's not time for you to change just yet. But if something triggers within you that says, maybe this just isn't working anymore, that is a sign that it's time to change. And I think what's scary about change is the fact that you have to reintroduce yourself to so many different people or so many different things. And we don't like that. We don't like that. We like comfortability and we like familiarity. Familiarity. How do you say that? We like that word there. That's familiar with the I-T-Y on the end, baby. So it's saying that, you know, it's just saying like sometimes we might be resistant to changing certain things about ourselves or changing our lives for what would be the better, because we just want to do what we've always been doing. And though it may have been working for so long, we may start to realize that certain things just don't work for us anymore, but we're just too scared to change. But if we don't change, we will be left behind. So would you rather start over and pursue all the new possibilities that's open for you, or would you like to stay the same and get left behind? The choice is ultimately ours. And what I would want for you guys and what I want for myself is for us to change and be open to the possibilities that are not open before us. So I would like us all to be comfortable with starting over. And honestly, I do understand that we create plans for our lives. I think we're taught that we should have a plan. And there's nothing wrong with plans. In fact, you should have a plan. But in saying that we have a plan for our lives, I feel like oftentimes we feel like we have to stick to the plan. And if we stick to the plan, sometimes it lands us in places that are undesirable to us, because when we made the plan, we were in a different part of our lives. Like, certain things probably just weren't important to us. Certain things we just did not consider. And as life happens and as we go through life, there's things that are introduced to us that we now have to take into consideration. And we sometimes have to conform to certain changes, and that changes the trajectory of where we will be in the timeline that we've set within our plan. So in saying this, I'm saying that yes, you should have a plan. You know, when you were in the classroom, I mean, I really can't date back when this all started, because realistically, I don't genuinely understand why younger kids would be asked where would they be in the next 5 to 10 years. But I kind of feel like I was asked that question the first time in maybe middle school. And I guess it's somewhat relevant. But realistically, I think children just aren't thinking about those things at that age. I think that question becomes more important around the time that you're graduating high school, once you're in college, graduating college. But even then, whatever 5-year plan, 10-year plan, 3-year plan that you're setting, it doesn't mean that that's exactly how your life will turn out. And the purpose of a plan is for you to have direction. It's not your end all be all. Again, certain things you just don't really see happening. You could meet the love of your life, move to a new city, start all over. You could lose a loved one that changes just everything about your world, flip you upside down, and now you have to realize that you have to move on in life without that person. And perhaps that person was the person that was guiding you through life. Perhaps that person was the person that was mentoring you through life. You know, things just happen, unforeseen things that change the path that we were once upon. But if you get so stuck in the past, because really I feel like when you are resistant to change and you are scared of starting over, a part of that is rooted in you being stuck in the past. You're telling yourself that, oh, this was always working, or this been working for however long, and so there's no reason to change now, even if you don't even reap the same results that you were reaping beforehand, because you're just so accustomed to doing this thing, and because this was introduced to you and you feel like this is what you have to continue doing. You are so steadfast focused on this plan, not realizing that you are jeopardizing your future by sticking to the plan. And so once you find yourself at that point, and I'm not saying that this will necessarily happen, perhaps you create a plan and going alongside that plan for the rest of your life is exactly what gets you to the destination that you desire the most. But on the flip side of that, perhaps the plan just no longer aligns with the path that you wish to pursue anymore. And that's fine, but you would have to start over. And the question begs here, are you willing to start over? Are you willing of taking an uncertain path versus what you believe to be a certain path? Are you willing to challenge yourself to move outside of your comfort zone and do something that's probably unusual and something that's probably uncomfortable for you in order to get further ahead in a direction that you feel like is more fulfilling and more desirable? I mean, it may require some short-term changes that are very hard or very unusual to you or to those around you. People might start to question if you even know what you're doing, if you know what you want, because they're confused of how you could possibly have everything figured out and decide that you want to just change paths all of a sudden. I've had this question begged to me so many times, and it's just like, I understand your concern, but really, leave me alone. And you have to have that attitude. If you're so sure that what you are doing just isn't fulfilling to you anymore, it's not feeling like something that you want to do for the rest of your life, it's not feeling like something that aligns with who you are in this moment, and you say, I want to change, you have the freedom to change, so why not? Why not? And if you change and you realize that what you were once doing is better than what you've changed to, you have the freedom to change back. But I feel like when you put yourself in this box and you feel like you just have to go according to the plan, You miss out on so many possibilities, and you start to foster these what ifs. A lot of times I feel like what ifs, they are associated with a negative connotation. Lord help me. Whew. They are associated with these negative connotations. And we start to think like, what if it doesn't work out? And what if I'm making a mistake? But what if you're not? What if this next step is exactly what you need to be the person that you've always wanted to be? What if you taking this step in faith and believing in yourself is exactly what opens the doors for not only you, but for those that you love to live a more happy and fulfilling life? I think we have to err on the side of positivity. Of course, err on the side of caution and make sure that this is truly aligned with what you want. I think if you're chasing and starting over in the sense of chasing validation or just more money because you just need more money, then you're almost always likely to fail. Because that's just not a driving factor that's going to stand the test of time. Money, I mean, it comes and it goes. Realistically, everybody wants more money. I think the richest person alive probably still wants more money. That's never going to change. You'll get more money, and guess what? 9 times out of 10, you'll increase your expenses, your liabilities, and you're still going to be chasing more money. So if that's the change, or if that's the cause of you starting over, then don't, because that's just not a good enough reason. But if what you're starting over for is because you want to pursue something that really sets you on fire, or you just feel like this direction is the path that you should be taking at this stage in your life, then go for it. And all the other attributes that you feel like would foster your happiness and make you feel more fulfilled are going to come in you changing your direction and in you starting over and pursuing that path. So I say that to say that you should be very open at every stage of your life to start over. And never allow any circumstance. I mean, I've seen people with literally $10 in their bank account start over. I mean, what is it that you have to lose, honestly? When the only thing that you should be comparing to whatever you're stuck doing now to you potentially starting over is the fact that if you don't start over and pursue something that's more rewarding for yourself now, that potentially down the line you'll be living with regrets, thinking of what it would have been like had you taken that step in faith and trusted in yourself and trusted in God to lead you along whatever path that will lead you to the rewards in the life that you wish to live. I think it will be also unfair to not tell you guys that in starting over, you'll have to learn how to say no. I think we oftentimes commit to our identities, and because we've been practicing things for a certain amount of time, it could be, I mean, right now I'm 25, so it could be something that I've been practicing for the past 10 years. When we change, we are often resistant to that change. It's trial and error. We have to see what works for us. We may think that, oh, we need to do this, and when we give it a try, it's like, oh, we still keep coming back to what we've been doing for oh so long. That's not a sign that you should just stay the same. That's not a sign that you shouldn't start over. That's not a sign that you shouldn't pursue something different. That's just your body telling you, like, I'm scared, basically. It's almost like a fear mechanism, because our bodies and our brains are conditioned to protect us. And if we are going against the grain and we are doing something that's challenging, automatically it's going to feel like something is wrong within us. And I think you have to be certain about what exactly you're changing about yourself, or about your routine, or about your behavior, or about your life. You have to be sure that that's a change that you really genuinely want to make, because if not, if you don't have a strong enough why are you making this change? Is it because you want to live a healthier lifestyle? Is it because you want more opportunity? Is it because you just want to expand and broaden your horizon? It could be whatever. That's really a personalized question to you, tailored to you. So you have to do that work yourself. But honestly, if you understand why you're changing, why you want to change, then when you start to feel that resistance, you'll still push past it. And it's important to understand that in pushing past that resistance, you'll have to learn how to tell yourself no. So in my journey of changing and starting over, I started over in many senses. I started over in the dating scene. I've started over in my career. I've started over in schools. I've started over so many times, literally so many times within these past 3 years that I haven't been talking to you guys. And in starting over, I had to learn how to tell myself no. When I started over in dating, I had to tell myself no when I started to find myself entertaining the same kind of guys that I was entertaining in the past. That led me to nowhere. You understand? You have to take the lessons that you've learned in the past and allow them to guide your decisions that you're making in the present. So when you start over, what's the quote? It's something like, if you do something, if you do the same thing repeatedly and expect a different outcome, it's insanity. Some variation of that is like, I think it's Albert Einstein, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, when you start over and you decide that you're going after something different, you're going after something new, you're going after something better, you have to learn how to tell yourself no. So when you start to see yourself deviate from this new path and going back to the path of familiarity and comfortability, y'all ain't finna check me because I just said it. But anyways, when you see yourself going back in the wrong direction or going back along the path that you just came from and decided was no longer the path for you, telling yourself no is what helps you to stay focused on the path set in front of you. Don't go back to what's behind you because it's familiar or because it's comfortable or because it just feels right. It feels right because that's the path you've been taking for so long. So when the same guy or the same girl comes in a different body and perhaps present themselves in a different way, but then you start to see the red flags, you start to see that certain characteristics that you just didn't vibe with in your last experience are within this same person, tell yourself no. Oh, not because they look good and they coming with all the money and all the flashiness and all whatever superficial things they may be coming with that may appeal to you. If you know that it's something about their character that doesn't align with you, or something that you know that somebody else that you once took that path with had those same characteristics and they left a scar within you, don't go entertaining that because it feels like, oh, even though they're a different person and they have these same characteristics, even though I didn't like it in the last person, I can go ahead and pursue this with them because they're different. And perhaps I can change this person. Even though I can't change this person, I can change this person. Just tell yourself no. No, this is not what I want. No, this is not what I deserve. And keep looking forward. Because once you become certain of the things that you want in your life and the people that you want in your life, there is no going back. There is no going back. You just know that you're meant for more and that you deserve better. And there is no going back. So you learn how to tell yourself no. It's the same thing with anything that you're trying to, any muscle or any discipline that you're trying to strengthen. It's the same thing. It's the willpower that you have, essentially. I mean, when I was trying to change my habits, and I mean, this is still something that I'm in the works of, changing my habits. I think everybody is at some point always trying to change at least one bad habit that they have. At least I hope that that's what's going on outside of here. But when you're changing your habits, I mean, I had the habit of, for one, and this contributed to my weight gain. I had the habit of eating at work, possibly stopping to get food, coming home and eating again because my mama cooked every day. And it was just me eating out of routine. And I had to learn how to tell myself no. If I'm not hungry, then I don't need to eat. if I'm not sleepy, then I don't need to take a nap. That's another thing that was kind of part of a routine that was more hurtful than helpful. Yes, naps are essential if you are genuinely tired. They can give you the boost that you need to get through the remainder of your day. But realistically, if I didn't need a nap, I would still go lay down hoping that the sleep would find me. It's not bedtime. I don't need to be doing that. So I had to learn how to tell myself no. So these are the important practices that we have to put into play if we want to start to see that change in our lives. If we want to start going in a direction that we haven't once even tried to pursue. Trusting that it's going to reap us a better outcome than what we've been currently exposed to with our current behavior. You're really not. You have to learn how to say no when you start taking your health into consideration, and maybe you always used to drink when you go out, or maybe you are a chronic smoker. Like, the things that were once a part of your identity, the things that you once frequented, the places that you once frequented, you'll have to start rejecting those things. And if those are things that are attached to certain people who are part of that past identity, that's not to say that you would have to remove them entirely from your life, but you can tell them, like, this is just not something that I no longer identify with. And in that, you're saying no. No, I don't want to go out every weekend. No, I don't want to go out if it's going to be a kickback and everybody's just going to be smoking and drinking and gossiping and doing things that just no longer align with who you are. That is also you saying no to start over and to start afresh and start a new journey that is more fulfilling and is leading you along the path of which you wish to pursue now. There's nothing wrong with that. And hopefully the people that you engage in those certain behaviors with understand that it's not anything against them. Things are often taken personal by people who are resistant to change. People start to think like, oh, you must think you're better than me. Oh, you think you this, you think you that. And it's not even that. It's not even that, baby. Like, it's really just more so the fact that you just don't get anything out of this behavior anymore. You don't get anything out of continuing to participate in the things that you were participating in when you were in a different stage of your life. You're starting over. And you can't be scared of starting over. You can't be scared that people are going to reject you and not want to be your friend. People are going to think of you in a different light and not, think very highly of you. You can't be worried about any of that. You just have to be standing firm in your decision and standing firm in who you are or who it is that you want to be, and tell them no. Tell yourself no. I mean, you're going to have to tell yourself no before you can even tell somebody else no, because if in the back of your head you're like, maybe, you're going to translate that to them. Even if it's not through your words, it'll be through your actions. They'll be able to tell that you're straddling the fence. Like, she wants to change, but she really not there yet. So I can still ask her, and she'll 9 times out of 10 probably still say yes. So, and that comes with, I'm glad. This was finna roll off my tongue, but like, it just hit me because this was something that I struggled with as a former people pleaser. Child, I had to learn how to set firm boundaries. And when you start over, you have to learn how to set those strong boundaries, because people of your past, and they could be a part of your current present, but they will be so used, especially those people that really, really know you, that have probably grown up with you, or if they didn't grow up with you, just known you for a long period of time and known you to be this one specific kind of way. They will be resistant to your change, and they will be looking at you like, that's not you. What are you doing? Like, just pretty much kind of questioning who you are and your integrity and all of those things, because they can't adapt to the change that you're making in your own life. So you'll have to learn how to set boundaries, because people may still try to push you to be the person that you once were before you started over. And if you allow them to push you, it's going to be harder for you to really commit to that change, because you're going to sit here and still try to conform to make them comfortable. But realistically, why are you making them comfortable? If you want to change to better yourself, for the betterment of yourself, for the betterment of your family, for the betterment of whoever, it has to be a very strong-willed decision within you to say, that's just no longer who I am. And if you can't respect that, then I'm going to have to ask you to give me this space. And that space may be the space of, you know, you have to check in with me before whatever, or you may have to call less, you may have to, I mean, the constraints really are just going to depend on the relationship and who you are now identifying yourself as. But you're going to have to set those boundaries and possibly cut off some people so that you can really move forward in pursuing the identity that you wish to shift to. That is the whole process of starting over, you guys. It's not a comfortable one. Trust me, it's not. It challenges you. It challenges you so much to really shake those bad habits away and to really commit to your future and the type of life that you wish for yourself. So I'm not telling you that it's gonna be easy, but I'm telling you that it's worth it. And I'm telling you that if you focus on you, then you'll get the outcome that you wish for. I mean, you might have to start over and it might push you back a year or two. And it may not even push you back that much. It might push you back just a few weeks, few months. It might push you back more than that. It might push you back 5 years. But realistically, if it's something that you genuinely want to change, if it's something that you genuinely are just so tired, and that's the thing, you gotta be tired. You know that little baby quote when he be like, I'm tired of being tired of being tired. You gotta be tired of being tired of being tired. And allow that to be the catalyst to your change. Because honestly, until you that tired, you're going to find ways to go back to your norm. But your new norm is going to be awaiting for you to just stay steadfast on that path. Stay committed to that path. Trusting that the change that you seek, the life that you seek, all of the changes, all of the benefits, all the opportunities, all of what you seek is in this direction ahead of you. But you have to start over. You have to shed the things of your past, the people, the habits, the behaviors, all the toxicity, anything that's just not going to serve you. You have to shed that and you have to start over. So though I said that starting over won't be easy, but it will be worth it, I do want to say that focusing on you instead of how other people will perceive you and how other people will receive this transformation that you're going through and this new genesis that you're embarking upon, I feel like focusing on you really does make the world of difference. Because if you focus on how people are going to receive this change, then it's going to kind of hesitate the change, not necessarily cause resistance, but you won't put your all into the change as much as you need to, which I guess in a sense that is still being resistant. But if you get what I'm saying, you just really have to do what's best for you and have tunnel vision of your end goal. Why is it that you're starting over? Clearly, if you're starting over, it's because what was once working for you is no longer working for you. What's once served you is no longer serving you. And I think another thing that focusing on you does is take away the, what's that thing called, peripheral? It takes away you looking out your peripheral at what everyone else is doing around you. I think another fear of starting over comes from you comparing your journey to the next person. You might have started at the same time pursuing a similar goal, and this person has advanced to a certain part, and maybe you're not too far behind them. And now you're thinking if you start over, then they're just going to go so much further ahead of you and get so much further ahead of you. What if you miss out on these opportunities and they get them and it's nothing left for you by the time you get to that stage? You just can't think like that. Realistically, when you focus on yourself and you stay in your lane, you realize that your path is unique to you. There's nothing that anybody can take away from you. I don't care how many people are pursuing the same career as you, the same talents, that has the same talents as you. It really just doesn't matter, because everything that's for you is for you. Can't nobody take them away. The only thing that can happen is the fact that you aren't where you were supposed to be at the time that you needed to be there to receive that blessing or that opportunity. But just because somebody else received a similar opportunity that you've been desiring doesn't mean that it won't happen for you. So don't think about, oh, this person is doing this and I wanted to do this, and if I start over then they'll be further ahead of me and I probably won't get there, or they'll be able to sit at the table before me and there won't be no seat for me. Don't think about anything like that. Think about how starting over and doing things the right way and really starting to pour into yourself and understand why it is that you're starting over, and really allow your whys to lead you in this journey of starting over, is going to make everything more rewarding. It's going to allow you to channel things within inside of you that you probably never really considered, you never gave much attention to, and it's going to really just make you understand yourself more. To my last point about focusing on yourself, I really just wanted to say that never stay somewhere for recognition. I think people are oftentimes scared to start over, or not necessarily even scared, but they just prevent themselves from taking that step of faith or what have you, and decide not to start over or prolong starting over because they're waiting to be recognized. Recognized as their ride or die friend, or their ride or die spouse, partner, whoever, ride or die, or just loyal employee. And it's like, for what? Exactly what do you gain from proving your loyalty to somebody who you don't even want to be a part of your future? Who shows that they don't align with the path that you are seeking? I mean, realistically, what do you gain from that? If you were to just flip the page, step out on faith, start over, and leave them in the past, then of course it might hurt in the moment, but ultimately you would be better off. Because they would not serve you in any kind of way, so why would they be coming along with you? And why would you allow them to hold you back from taking that step? I mean, really think about that. So when I say focus on yourself, I'm talking about all these things. I'm talking about just prioritizing your own wants and needs above all else, and allowing those wants and needs to guide you into your next step, and your next chapter, and your next journey, and your next path, your next relationship, your next job. Like, whatever it is that you seek to start over, allow your faith to allow you to step into that with prioritizing your own wants and needs, not the wants and needs of those around you. Because once you tire yourself out from focusing on how you can please those around you and how you can pretty much keep up appearances of who they know you to be, what is left? You're not going to show up as your best self. Realistically, you're not. And then you're probably going to be replaced anyway. So why not just look out for yourself? And in looking out for yourself, you're going to be helping all those that do genuinely care about you and do genuinely love you, because it's going to show up in the way that you show up in your relationships, whatever type of relationships that those are. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you for listening to this. Of course, I'm sending you off with love, and I wish you the best. And I'm hoping that this can motivate at least one person to start over. Start over and leave behind the things that you've just been doing because you've always known to do those things. And it just feels like you're normal. It's not your normal. You have all this life in front of you, and it's just not expected of you to continue to do the same things. You have to change. Time is always allowing change to happen. Inevitably. Am I saying that right? Y'all know what I'm saying, but change is always going to happen. Whether you decide that you're going to change with the times or you're going to get left behind, it's really on you. But change is going to happen. So if you need to start over, don't be scared to start over. If you need to expand your horizon on something, don't be scared to take that step and seek out new opportunities, new knowledge, new friends, new career paths, new anything. start over. It's no harm in starting over. Genuinely, it's none. So I leave you with that. Toodles.